ironic things to happen, and here's a few I found. Happy freaking Friday, folks. Hope you had either a great week or if you had a bad week, it doesn't matter because you've got into us here today and it's going to get a lot better or a lot worse. Like if you just won the lottery earlier this week and like you got married, this isn't probably the highlight of your week, but it's not a low light. It's medium.
You're setting the bar so high for everything else except for the podcast.
I hope everyone that's listening had an amazing week and that this is the lowest point. And if you've had a shitty week, well, welcome, because it's going to be fun.
Hey, listen up, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Listen, we care about you. We want you to have a great Friday, and we want you to enjoy your time here. So sit back, relax, and crack up in a cold booch.
Did you... I didn't hear anything.
Well, the mic picked it up. Maybe you didn't hear it, but the mic definitely did.
Mike Jordan or Mike Tyson?
Mike Dudley.
No idea who that is. I know an
I don't either. I don't even know if it's a person, honestly.
Mike Dudley. Some random Mike out there is like, me?
Dude, speaking of random, first off, we're doing a Tomatalk, so why don't you go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and do what you gotta do. Bring people into the tribe.
Yeah, dude. Sprinkle likes on this podcast like you're playing with your Tamagotchi and you want to grow your Chia pet and you're in the 90s and Velcro shoes.
Yep, and name that Tamagotchi a Tomataki.
Ooh, I like that.
Dude, so 20 minutes before the podcast, before we started recording this, I was scrolling through Instagram and I got this random suggestion for a person, right? So I click on it because I'm like, who the hell is this? I've never even seen this person in my life. I click on it and it says they got 5,000 posts. So I'm like, shit, this person's like really, really grinded on here. Because it's like, she's talking about like eyeliner, lip gloss, all these different like beauty products, right? So I'm like, fuck this girl. And she's got 95 followers. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's grinding, but she's not really getting much headway. So then I start scrolling down. Every single one of her posts have 0 likes for the first maybe like 80 posts. And I'm not kidding. I scrolled through. I was sitting there for like 20 minutes just scrolling through, and I'm like, no way. And I'm invested. I'm trying to find. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna find one with a like on it or a comment or something. So I scroll down. I find one that has a like on it. I'm like, hell yeah, way to go, Renee. And I click on it. She liked her own picture. I'm like, damn it.
What the heck, dude? How do you have 5,000 posts?
So then I keep scrolling, right? And I see one that has a comment. And it's her again. And she's like, so pretty. I'm like, fuck, I feel so bad for her. I want to go through and just like as many pictures as I can, right? So then I scroll through. Now I'm at like picture 300 and maybe 20-ish, and I'm fully invested. I'm like, dude, there has to be...
You've already gone too deep to the point where you can't just turn around.
Exactly. So now, and then I finally click on one that has 2 likes, and I'm like, this has got to be the one. This has got to be the one.
Yeah, there's no way.
Exactly. So I click on it. It's her, first off. I'm like, okay, of course she liked her own picture. And then some random person from like Tennessee or something like that. And I was like, yes, Renee, yes. I am so happy for you right now.
And then you proceeded to block.
Yeah, and then I just clicked back and I was like, all right, that was cool. But I was so hyped for Renee. Like, I was like, dude, you get it, girl.
Man, you know what? I don't know if there's something to be said there. Is there something to be said there? Is that a person that should just keep doing it? Or like, should there be some like point of them being like, okay, nothing's happening. I either need to change my approach or like, no, it's just a needing to change approach.
This is my way of saying we're going to continue doing this podcast because even though we get 1 to 2 likes, I'm just kidding. I actually have no idea how many likes we get. Like for all I know, you could literally just be having this just recorded into a podcast and having no likes and no comments.
We get
nothing.
more listeners than we get any other like attribute on social media, but it's definitely not a Renee level of...
Sorry.
Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna divorce this girl. She just
You're not even married yet.
I know, I swear I'm gonna divorce her so fucking quick. She comes in the room, drops a dump in the bathroom, steps on the squeaky toy.
Doesn't even spray. Doesn't even wash her hands.
Fuck.
Comes in, gives you a great high five, left a little chocolate on your hand, and then left.
So 2 days ago, we had my dog snipped. No, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. He was like, it was the saddest thing ever, dude. He was like completely out of it, high out of his mind, in pain, whimpering. It was like heartbreaking. But now he's okay. But it's actually weird because I've never had a male dog. I've never owned a male dog, so I don't know the process of neutering. They just like took his balls, but the skin is still there. And I don't know if it's going to shrink.
Yeah, the skin stays.
Does it shrink back?
Yeah, eventually it shrivels up. Dude, one time, Kyle had a dog. His name was Chico, and then he had another dog named Molly, and they both got neutered and spayed at the same time. It was like a little chihuahua, and every now and then he would go up on like the glass door and kind of like scratch at it, but you'd be able to see his junk just dangling there. And I noticed one day that like his sack was still just like hanging there. It looked like a turkey neck. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like, a turkey neck.
But then about a month later, it just shriveled up and it looked normal, like not like a regular patch of skin, but he looked like he had two dicks just hanging there.
It's just wild to me because I had no idea. I thought they would just cut it off and then sew over it. I didn't know I don't know what scientific extraction process they go through, but it seems way more complex than my idea of just snipping.
I mean, it makes more sense than just cutting the whole sack off.
Yeah, it seems efficient to me.
I don't know. Dude, when Max and Chloe got it, Chloe was like down for the count, dude. She was out for days, maybe even
like
a week.
Small dogs don't do good with it because him too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little more like active today, like normal himself, but yesterday it was just like brutal.
I'm pretty sure it's small dogs that come out of anesthesia like all like just loopy and just out of it, man. Because Max has had no problem at all with that.
Really? He's not even like
when he
down?
got that. No, dude. When he got snipped, he was still running around. We thought, okay, the procedure will slow him down a little bit because he was still chasing after Chloe everywhere, but he wasn't big enough to jump on the couches. So she was like, darting around trying to avoid him, and then she'd jump on the couch, and he had a full-on cone on, and he had his, I guess, not staples, but he had like sutures down there, and then he tries and jumps up against the couch and just smacks his chest up against it, and he's like, and then like runs away.
Poor dude.
But yeah, it didn't slow him down like at all. He was a puppy through and through even after that.
Yeah, that's wild. And I would have thought like small dogs, they just give little dosages, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they like lower the dosage, but they just have a harder time coming out of it, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to address some. Oh, first, there's a couple of things I want to address. First off, found out today Eddie Van Halen died.
What? Oh, that's why I saw Robert Downey Jr.'s post. Technically, that would be 2 weeks ago when this releases.
Oh, yeah. We're recording this on the 6th, so 10 days ago, Eddie Van Halen died. Super sad. I'm honestly not like too in tune with his music, but you could definitely know and feel his imprint on the genre. For sure.
Oh, totally. I like that band, but I wasn't like, if oh my God, I can't think of his name right now.
What song does he sing?
The guy in the Beatles.
Oh, Paul Lennon.
Yeah. Nope, John Lennon.
John McCartney. And Ringo Fart.
That's the one, Ringo Fart. If Paul McCartney died, I'd be like, fuck, dude, that really sucks. Because like I listen to the Beatles every Sunday with my dad and my family.
Really?
But Van Halen's like, a rare occasion that I listen to them.
You still listen to the Beatles every Sunday?
Yeah, my dad puts it on whenever he makes breakfast for everyone.
Interesting. I wouldn't see your dad being a Beatles type of guy.
Dude, he loves the Beatles. One time he sat me down and he had all the Beatles on a CD, and he's like, here are all the Beatles, put it on your computer, listen to all of them. I'm like, okay. I thought he meant like at a different time, like, just at your own leisure. No, I'm sitting there and he's like, click on this one. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I click on it and he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good song. Okay, click the next one. I'm like, Dad, like, I got schoolwork to do. Like,
interesting. Was your dad a hippie?
No, yeah, right. He's not a hippie. I think he just likes the genre, just that specific genre.
The hippie genre.
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh.
I mean, he also likes like heavy metal, like not heavy metal, but he likes rock and classical rock. He likes. I guess the Beatles are kind of labeled as classic rock. He's like a 93.1 Jack FM.
They're like, no, I wouldn't consider the Beatles classic rock. I would consider classic rock like Guns N' Roses, I'm not even, I might be just sounding like a fucking idiot right now because it's not my lane. But Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, like that style is what I would consider classic rock. And then like old punk rock is what, like Sex Pistols, Ramones.
Yeah.
And that's, I named all 4 rock bands I know.
I was like, okay, he's got more. No, that's it.
Lists end at 2, right? 2
Yes.
options.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually
not the rule of 3, the rule of 2.
It's usually top 3 or top 5 or even, dare I say top 10. But no, you got top 2, buddy. Way to go.
Watch Mojo. 2 craziest scenes ever.
It's like a 2-minute video and half of it is an ad.
That was one thing I wanted to say. So just R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. And then number 2, I feel like something like huge happened in the world and it's just completely gotten glossed over. Is like Trump getting COVID is like insane when you like 30,000 feet step back and be like, whoa, the president of the United States just got hit with like a global pandemic virus. That sounds crazy, right? That sounds like the start of a Michael Bay movie who's moonlighting as Christopher Nolan.
One man gets coronavirus and then he's fine.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. And then it got me thinking. So I started like looking up things like and thinking, what is like a more surprising moment in history? Just like one moment that happened to a person. I'm not talking about like 9/11 or Pearl Harbor or Hiroshima, but like I started thinking like Magic Johnson getting AIDS. Like is that more shocking than Donald Trump getting COVID?
I would say it's more shocking, yeah, because it's not just like it's not a one-time thing. You have it for life, and it's like it's a jarring experience. Like you have.
It's kind of like same idea, right? Because back then it was like very shocking to everyone around because he was at the height of his game, height of president kind of level of basketball, I guess you could say, even though he was in the game, but he was like this god figure in basketball. And 2 is like at the start of the AIDS crisis where people didn't really know how to get it, so like people were afraid to play in games against him because they didn't know if like he sweat on them if they'd get AIDS. But it's kind of very similar because we don't really know what the fuck's going to happen with COVID and its long-term effects on people. I just think it's so crazy.
I think we kind of do though.
It's
different though. I think it's a lot different because now if you have COVID, you can still interact with people and not transmit it to them. And I don't think that blood transmits it either. I think actually it's only like particles, like spit particles. But like now, if you have AIDS,
so that's worse than AIDS.
Having AIDS is like having kids. You can only have sex with someone else that has them. Because no one else is going to be like, hell yeah, man, this guy's got AIDS. Let's boink.
Having COVID is like having kids. No one wants to hang out with you. But I would say for like transmissible wise, I think
no, you were right when you said transmission wise. I'm sorry that I corrected you. I falsely corrected you. I didn't know where you were going, so I was like, let me just help him through this stutter fest.
I start most sentences not knowing where I'm going. It's worse. COVID's worse than AIDS then, right? Because like blood transmission is way harder to transmit than COVID.
No, because you can be cured of COVID. Like people that have had COVID.
I've heard people that have had it twice.
No, but what I'm saying is if you have it, you can get rid of it and then catch it again. It's like the flu, dude.
I don't know.
AIDS, you don't really. I think if you go into like not remission, but like.
Yeah, what happens with AIDS? Is your body just or you don't die of AIDS, right? It just kills your immune system. Is that what happens?
Yes, and then you can like die of like a common cold.
Okay, so would you say Magic Johnson getting AIDS was more shocking than Trump getting COVID?
100%, because if Magic Johnson got COVID, I feel like he could die from it. Not right now, but like later on in life.
Michael Jackson dying or Donald Trump getting AIDS or COVID?
Okay, still Michael Jackson dying. I mean, it was kind of a long time coming. We're like, okay, this guy, he's taking a lot of pills. He's probably gonna die.
Okay,
and then you find out how many prescriptions he has.
The David Hasselhoff burger video or Donald Trump getting COVID.
I don't remember that. What is that?
It's an iconic viral video where David Hasselhoff is just drunk off his shit trying to eat a hamburger. It was everywhere.
Oh, I need to find this video and watch it.
It's like sad, but you can't stop watching it.
Let's get a live viewing right now. Here we go. David Hasselhoff
like
burger?
someone mocking him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I need to search. Because it's like, I think someone mocking him for being drunk. I think it's like his kid that recorded it.
Dude, all I typed in was David Hass, and it goes David Hasselhoff burger drunk video. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my God, no! This is a commercial?
No, this isn't a Carl's Jr. commercial. It's a joke. It's 2007 YouTube.
He's dropping the lettuce everywhere. No, the whole
The
burger.
burger is just falling apart.
And then he picks up the freaking patty and just goes. He's got the lettuce just hanging from his teeth. Oh, now he spit. Why the hell did he spit?
Oh, did they end it?
That was pretty good, dude.
So what's more shocking, that or Trump getting COVID?
I would say Trump getting COVID. That David
Okay,
Hasselhoff
so there we
video
go.
was shocking.
We found the line.
Yeah, there was a fine line, but yeah, for sure. Dude, that was such a huge rabbit hole that you took me down, but I'm so glad I went on that journey with you.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't know that. That was like the video in 2007. Wild.
That was amazing.
So then I was thinking, so I think it's wild that the president has COVID.
Wait, there's
but it's-
more to this thought? Oh, God, I'm excited.
No, I went
All
on
right.
a tangent, but then I was like, man, this isn't just like a very shocking moment in like our world's history. This is like this has to be one of the most ironic moments in our world's history, because I think like Trump has been a big like fuck the CDC, like masks. Joe Biden, he was mocking Joe Biden like for wearing a mask
Yeah.
all the time. At
Your mask is so huge.
yeah, and then 2 days later, he got the virus. I think like it has to be one of the most ironic things ever to happen. So I started looking up other ironic things to happen, and here's a few I found. Gary Kremen, I believe is how you pronounce it, the founder of Match.com, lost his girlfriend to a man she met on Match.com.
Oh, that's a slap in the face. That's a dick slap in the face.
Barry Manilow's 1976 hit called "I Write the Songs" was written by Bruce Johnson. What other one I found? The building holding the patent to the fire hydrant burned down in 1836.
God, that's just sad, though. Like, that's like,
I think the Match.com maybe has Trump beat, but I think Trump beats the rest.
For sure, the Match.com one beats that. I mean, that's like a spit in the eye. He does not beat that.
so today at work, you have to use hand sanitizer every time you go to a different activity, or, you're hanging out with someone else at work. So this one kid goes up to the hand sanitizer dispenser, and this thing is like a push to the top, and then it squirts out into your hand. Well, she is so small, and she didn't put her hand underneath it, that when she pushed on it, it just shot her straight in the eye.
Oh no.
And like it was like one of those like the foamy kind of ones, and so it just shot her straight in the eye. And now she's blinking, but now when she's blinking, it's starting to like bubble in her eye.
It didn't burn?
It burned. It burned really bad. She was crying hysterically, and I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, trying to like dab her face with a napkin, but she was like crying. And then as soon as I stopped dabbing it, she looks at me, and her eye wasn't even red at all. So I'm like, does this hand sanitizer not like does it even do anything? Because if it's not making her eye red, something's wrong there.
Yeah, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense.
But it was just, oh my God, the fact that it was foaming up was so
Are they diluting
funny.
hand sanitizer right now for mass production? What the fuck?
Oh my God,
Conspiracy. The cleaning companies want to perpetuate the virus to have longer business booms.
Speaking of conspiracies, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
No.
What about Sasquatch?
No, I think that there were like big people back in the day, like missing link type people, but I don't think they are still around.
What would be something that you would like that you consider far-fetched, but you would say, okay, yes, that's true? Like aliens. Obviously, I believe in aliens. I think that they were here at one point, and we found like spaceships and stuff, and then they were like, oh my God, we gotta like reverse engineer this stuff and kind of figure out how they did this. But I don't know if there still are any out there. I believe there are. I just don't know how far we'd have to go to find them.
Yeah, I don't know like the wildest conspiracy theory that I believe in. I believe in aliens too, like that. But the JFK assassination, I don't think was just a random shooter. For sure not.
Yeah, because you talked about that podcast you're listening
The idea
to.
of the gunman being killed should be like proof enough, dude. What's his face dying? It wasn't suicide. Epstein. That wasn't suicide.
Oh no, that's not really conspiracy. That's like widely known that he did not kill himself.
Yeah, widely known, but then like not followed up on.
No, they're like, yeah, he didn't kill himself. We believe it. All right, moving on. By the way, World War III is probably
like,
gonna
what
happen.
the fuck?
Like you said, dude, everything's just watered down at this point. So Epstein killing himself was like, okay, whatever.
I think that's it. I don't know if I believe in like a bunch of other wild conspiracy theories. Like I don't believe in any of the monster kind. Like I don't believe in chupacabra.
See, I like horror movies. Like I like vampire and werewolf stuff, but I know that none of it's real. I'm hoping that like, I wish it was real, but I know it's not. It sucks. It's like, oh gosh, maybe like in a different universe somewhere.
Yeah, dude, conspiracy theories are wild because the people that really like subscribe to them are crazy people. Like, did you ever hear that politicized thing that happened like 4 or 5 years ago called Pizzagate?
No.
So it was like a play on was it Watergate, the thing that happened with Nixon? But they, in this big like government leak of emails, some people started digging through the emails and saw these texts or these email chains about some kind of fundraising event where, I might be getting some of the details wrong here, people, but this is like the gist. So they were emailing back and forth about some kind of fundraising event. And in the emails, they were talking about providing pizza for the event. And some wackos out there started decrypting some of the messages and thinking that pizza was being used.
Sorry, I can't read that on Apple Watch.
Dude, Siri doesn't want me talking about this. The people...
We're being watched. Yeah. We're being listened to.
So the people thought that pizza wasn't pizza and that it was a, I guess, metaphor for children, and that it was this inside government sex ring where they were trafficking children, and that they were doing it out of the back of this pizza place, I think in Washington, D.C. And so this became a, like, I don't know, 4chan, Reddit, some kind of online community conspiracy theory that bubbled up so much that one guy, I don't even think he was in Maryland, he drove cross state to the pizza place, like armed with like an AR-15, and then like went into the place and like demanded to go to the back to see the kids. And then like he basically held up the pizza store and they showed him to the back and there was nothing there but like, you know, ovens and shit.
Oh my God. That's nuts, dude. Could you imagine if like he like, you know, you read into the emails and it says like, all right, man, I'm bringing pizza. What kind do you want? And the guy's like, I'd like Hawaiian and I don't want anything over 7 years old. I mean, 7 inches of the pizza.
I was like, oh no, I want the large, not the small.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. That guy went to it.
Wildness, dude. I don't know, because I have like 2 different thought processes through it. There's probably a lot of things out there that are kind of being hid under the radar. So, you know, maybe 1 out of 100 times these people are right, but then most of the time I just think it's people with like way too much time. But then like, am I wrong to say that, like, for them trying to seek truth? I don't know.
A lot of these things, like, people are just super creative sometimes. I went on this, you know, the rabbit hole thing where you were on Reddit for, oh, I'm just gonna look at this one post, and then you just keep clicking on posts and you're like, fuck, what am I doing here? So I'm like going down the rabbit hole and I find one. It says, well, why don't we use like meta black, which is like the blackest black you can ever find. It looks like an optical illusion when you look at it. It's crazy. Like I've seen pictures of it and I'm like, that's fake. It doesn't look real. But they're like, why don't we put that at the bottom of pools? That way it heats the pool, you know?
That way it heats the pool?
Yeah, like the sun will heat the pool, you know?
Got it.
Through the water. Okay, hang on, let me just find the post. Okay, so it's called Vanna Black. It says, fun fact about Vanna Black. Because it absorbs all the light, it will heat up very fast when exposed to this direct sunlight. It takes in all the UV and heat and contains them, causing the pool to heat over 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the boiling point of water. So if you did coat that in your pool, it would boil everyone that's swimming in it. But that's not all. The flash boiling of an entire pool of chlorinated water would then release the chlorine as a gas, which would kill everyone within a 200-foot radius. Doesn't end there though. The release of chlorine gas combined with the heat and the black tiles would be more than sufficient to fuse the boiled hydrogen ions with chlorine, create an explosive reaction with the hydrogen in the air. So shortly after everyone in the pool boils and everyone around the pool gets chlorine gas poisoning, the region would explode with the force of a small atomic bomb, about 50 city blocks. You'd think that would be enough. But get this. Such chemical explosions expel gamma rays. Gamma rays ionize hematite, which is the mineral with which the black material is mentioned is made. This creates scopohexaconopal, whatever. A compound known as the zombie drug, because it essentially erases the brain and induces cannibalistic tendencies in its victims. It can be transmitted through saliva, infecting all who are bitten within hours. So basically, if you did have Vanna Black tiles in your pool, you would boil your friends, poison your neighbors, nuke your city, and condemn the whole globe to a zombie plague. But to be fair, it would look pretty cool. And then someone's like, dude, that's freaking crazy. I can't even believe that's true. And then someone comments on that one and he says, hey, dude, look at the guy's name. And his name is Shit I Just Made Up. And I'm like, fucking hell.
What a life. That dude just gets off of work, just goes on random threads, is like, yeah, I can work with this one. Just goes to town, cracks his fingers and sits down.
He's like, all right, how can I scare the shit out of some 12-year-olds today? Let's do it. Let's get to work.
That'd be a fun episode to go through some maybe like little known conspiracy theories, because I don't want to go through like all the big ones, but like...
No, most people know the big ones too.
But it'd be interesting to go into like some lesser known ones. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm very content with how long and how good this episode was.
That's what she said.
I don't know if that relates.
Not to you.
Episode?
No.
What is he having a seizure during sex?
No. Yes.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Michael J. Fox in the sheets, freaking sheets.
Don't bring him up again, man.
Oh man. Yo, my homies, Michael J. Fox and Stephen Hawking, I got them. They're my boys.
So this is like not very funny, but it's kind of funny. So Kyle's in class and this kid just like starts flopping on the ground and like starts having a seizure.
Really? Like shaking on the ground?
Like shaking on the ground, like convulsing. So then Kyle's like, oh God, I know what I gotta do. I gotta like put him on his side so he doesn't throw up, right? And then choke on his vomit, because that's usually how you die from seizures.
Yeah.
So he put him on his side really quick, like quick thinking. I'm like, dude, good on you, man. Takes his jacket, puts it underneath the guy's head so that he doesn't smack his head on the floor, you know? And then Kyle looks down and he sees that the kid is now drooling all over his sweatshirt. And he's like, oh man, it was a brand new jacket. Like he just got it. And he's like,
really?
Son of a bitch. And he's like, yeah. And then I had to get to class. And I'm like, no, you did not slide it out from underneath his head and then go to class. And he's like, no, I was late to class, but that would have been pretty funny if I did. I'm like, no, it wouldn't have been funny, dude.
That would have been, that's such a like Larry David move.
Yeah. He's like, oh, actually, sorry, I gotta...
Sorry. You understand. You understand.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the kid's fine, but when he was telling me the story, I couldn't help but laugh because of the way he was describing it. The situation itself was not funny, but the way he reacted was.
Yeah, dude, I blame Josh for our sick sense of humor.
No, the thing is, I had a sick sense of humor before I met him.
I did too, but I could hide it.
Oh, I didn't. This is literally the reason why we became friends, because we were doing a foods project, right? And then he comes over, and this is just after Heath Ledger died, by the way. And he comes over, and we are making macaroni and cheese for the foods project, like homemade mac and cheese, not the regular like Kraft shit. And then as it's baking in the oven, I go in my room to get my laptop or get my video camera so we can start recording for the project, right? And then I see this big jar of Tic Tacs right next to my bed. I'm like, oh, hang on, this is gonna be hilarious. Hop in my bed, grab a bunch of Tic Tacs, shove them in my mouth, and I'm like, hey, who am I? And I like lean my head back and have my mouth wide open. And he's like, dude, I have no fucking idea. And I like lean up and as I'm saying it, I'm spitting out Tic Tacs. And I'm like, I'm Heath Ledger. And he's like, oh my God. And still to this day, he's like, that was the moment. That was the moment when I knew we were gonna be best friends.
Iconic.
So I would say it wasn't his fault. It definitely wasn't his fault that I have a sick sense of humor, but he didn't help.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, keep it chiefin'.
Keep it chiefin', folks. We'll be back next week. Love your faces. Boop, boop, boop.